Congratulations. I guess we say that. Okay, let me go here. Who am I going to pick on today? Ronan. That's good. Very solid. All right, our quote for the day is.
The way to keep momentum.
Hey. Go ahead. Louisa.
One way to keep momentum going is to have constantly greater goals.
Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're not done yet.
Oh.
Come here. Yeah, now you get thrilled. Yeah. So exactly. Cindy knows the deal. So what does that mean to you?
It means that there's really no stopping, no goal when you say, okay, now. Yeah. So you better go to the next one.
Keep going to the next one. What about you, Paul? What does it mean to you? Thank you, Ronan.
Thank you. So even if you have a phenomenal year, so let's say last year was a phenomenal year, and you go, you know what? Next year, it would be awesome if I could just do the same as I did last year. That is a recipe to not do what you did last year. It's just the way, it's the way the goals, it's the way the world works. It's inertia, right? Which is, we all know, like inertia, like when something's sitting still tends to sit still, but also it works the other way, the positive way, which is a body in motion tends to stay in motion. And really, the only thing I can guarantee you is that you will not do what you did last year, right? So you're either going to do more or you're going to do less. Those are the two possibilities, right? So that's why I use I mean, you could pick any goal, you can pick a lesser goal if you want, but if you pick the same goal, you actually are picking a lesser goal. And so that's what that quote means to me. Did I do okay on that?
You did awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
And can you give an observation also?
Yes, you can.
When you guys were, I was in a meeting when you guys were dancing out here, the music playing and all that kind of stuff. I took a little video.
Oh,
And, I don't yet know how to caption a video. I know how to caption a photo, but I don't yet know how to caption a video for my story. And if I could, once I figure that out, I will put in, this is why I know I would not be a great team leader. It takes that energy. It takes a lot of things, many things, and it takes that sort of energy and connection. So I really appreciate you and all the dancers that that goes right to momentum, right?
Yep.
Gives you good momentum.
Yep, absolutely. Got to have the good music and what's it say? Body in motion.
Tends to stay in motion.
Oh, there you go. See?
I just said that. You weren't paying attention.
Because I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say next.
It's the other half of the definition of inertia, which is a body that is not moving tends to stay not moving, and a body in motion tends to stay in motion. And that's why in a real estate practice example, going from no deals to one deal is all the energy, right? And I would say no deals to one organic deal, meaning, oh, well, I have a relative that needed to sell, so therefore I got that deal. Don't count that one. Count the one that you actually generate yourself. And it takes so much energy to generate one deal. And if it took 10 times that much energy to create 10 deals, nobody would ever do 10 deals. But the fact of the matter is, once that body is in motion and you're doing those 10 deals, the amount of energy it takes to go from 10 deals to 20 deals is not 2 times the energy. It's not even close. The first deal is the launch, right? So that's what I call it. It's the number of horsepower it takes to get a rocket off the ground. You pull out of fuel in 2 seconds if that's what it took for it to have the rocket go around.
Yeah. Exactly, because momentum, you always talk about too, momentum is the hardest thing, right? Like you just said, hardest thing to get going, but it's the easiest thing to lose.
Yeah.
right? So that's why it's so important, you know, especially if you guys take all that energy, like Paul was just mentioning, to get your first deal, right? And then you slow down, because a lot of times when you get that deal, it doesn't matter if you've been in the business for a long time or it's your very first transaction. If you spend all that time generating that first deal and then all of a sudden you're in the deal, right? You're just like, oh my gosh, I gotta pay attention to the deal, right? Then all the energy that you took to get that one deal, now you lost that momentum because you're focusing on the transaction versus maintaining the non-negotiable of lead generating. That's something that has to happen on a daily basis to maintain that momentum instead of getting consumed by the deal.
And
Yes.
one of the things that I learned on flow coaching yesterday. So we do flow coaching every Monday and Thursday from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. And we start with something called Philosopher's Notes, where this guy, Brian Johnson, reads all of the top leadership, top management books and gives us a synopsis, a 5-point synopsis. And one of the notes from this last call was 42%. And that 42% was the additional likelihood, the additional firepower that just writing your goals down does for you. So in other words, if you have a goal, and your goal is to do a certain amount of GCI or a certain amount of net profit for your personal business, just writing that goal down will increase the likelihood of you attaining that goal by 42%. And that's shown time and time again to be true. And so it's amazing, you know, as soon as I hear that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write all this down, right? Because that's an easy thing. That's an easy thing to do. And one of the things that it does is it aids momentum.
What helps too is a goal board.
Yes.
I have one in my office at home.
Yep.
And one of my goals is to get a home up in Oregon where I can have a dog sanctuary.
Yes.
And so I've got pictures of the dogs, you know, the property I'd like to have. And so every morning I come in there and I see it and I go, that's what I want.
And it connects you to, so that's sort of what we would call our why. And the more connection that you have to, that's a wonderful why. And we found that it doesn't matter what your why is, but the more connected you are to it, the more push and thrust you get toward your goal. So that's a wonderful one. And if it is to, you know, fund my kids' college, 5-0 whatever thing it is, right? It's everything going to college, in my mind. But if it's to get that fully funded by a certain point of time, if you just write that down, and actually that's sort of the next step, is just writing it down gets you 42%. But putting it somewhere where you can see it and reviewing it over time. Give me any topic, right? I could go on and on about it. A business partner, very successful business partner of mine, walks around with a little book. He takes all of this, you know, he sits at the beginning of the year. How many of us actually do this? I didn't do it at the beginning of this year. You know, there's still time. You know, takes a full day, gets all of his goals, you know, gets it all white. I'm good about whiteboarding, but takes them all, you know, and shrunk it down to 2 pages and pasted it inside the back 2 pages of the little book that he carries around all the time. He said, you know what? All I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this from top to bottom, just read through it once a week, right? And then what happens in human nature, right? You get 10 weeks into the year, and how many times have you read through it, you know, twice, right? So then the other little thing that he did, which, and he just sort of did that for a couple of years, and he would find himself at the end of the year, still, of course, not having done it 52 times. And the only thing that he added to it that made all the difference in the world was simple accountability. But right underneath, he had a little room underneath the second page of the goal. And every time he read through it, he just went like this, you know, right? Right. And so the deal that he made with himself was he wasn't going to let himself read through it twice in a day. So couldn't get 2 little check marks per day. But if he got to week 10 and he only had 5 little sticks, right, that he could do it 5 days in a row. And that really you know, and then every once in a while, what he would do is he would check in and see like, okay, so wait a minute, how many, we're 30 weeks into the year, how many check marks do I have? Oh, I only have 20. Okay, so for the next few days in a row, I'm gonna read through my goals. It creates a little game for yourself. And that is putting magic on top of the goal setting. So
That's a cherry on top.
that's it's the like little tiny thing that just, but to your point of putting a vision board, right? Which again, something I don't use, but it can be very helpful because it puts your why right in front of you. And then your activities all day long, is it consistent with or inconsistent? Like, well, let me play one more game of solitaire. Is that inconsistent or consistent with that goal? And so when the goal is sitting up there, we just tend to behave more consistently with the goal.
Yeah, I love that. And two, and remember, you know, real estate is, that's why it's so important to get, really get to know yourself and know your why. Because remember, real estate is the financial vehicle to get to all the goals that you want, right? To be able to get your dog sanctuary. Are you gonna have a little chihuahuas?
Everything.
Okay,
How
awesome.
about pit bull
And
terriers?
pit bull terriers.
Yeah.
We love more than the rest.
Yes, they do. He has the best dog, August, right?
Yeah.
So cute.
I don't know, I got a couple terriers that are pretty good.
In a pack, they can be by himself is the
Yeah.
most mellow. 80-pound pit bull. He's very mellow.
Yeah, he's huge, for sure. So speaking of goals, I wrote down some numbers. You guys want to hear, before we go on, you guys want to hear some numbers from the office?
Yes, we'd like to hear it.
Woohoo! So speaking of goals, because does everybody remember what our volume was in 2021?
1.3 billion.
1.3. Almost,
Wow.
sorry. Well, okay, it was
Right,
1.296. So you're technically right.
Philip,
Philip
you
doesn't make
should have
mistakes.
back tested against me. You would have won that bet. So you get a lot of credit. You get a lot of credit. Good job, man. Know your numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Woohoo! And that he does. He
So
knows his numbers.
1.29 billion was last year's volume.
Yep.
And just so you know, an office that does, quite a bit more than $1 billion in volume is a very unique thing, certainly on a nationwide basis, there's no question, and very unique, even in a market like LA. Yeah, to cross the $1 billion threshold is massive.
Yeah, so it's super exciting, super exciting. So I want to share with you what our goal is through May. I mean, not our goal, but our actual numbers.
Well, wait a second. So do we have an annual goal?
We have the annual goal of 2 billion in volume for 2022,
Okay,
which is significant.
right.
Like, oh, should I, do you guys ever get scared to say a goal out loud, right? But it's like, oh, is that attainable? Oh, is that realistic? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I say that sometimes too, and I know that we should, right? Go big or go home, right? So we put 2 billion.
And that's, that's greater than 50% increase, because you're looking for 700 million more on top of essentially 1.3. So it's greater than a 50% increase. And if I'm coaching a realtor and they say, hey, I did 129,000 GCI, I want to do 200,000, that's a big jump. I would want to know what are you going to do differently, right? Because doing the same thing is probably doing the same thing, but a little bit more of it or a little better is probably not going to get you a 50% increase. I don't want to shoot anybody's goal down, but you have to know you have to do things a little different to hit that.
Yep.
So I don't know, does Stephanie, what's Stephanie gonna do different?
We'll see.
Let's see. So how are we doing?
Okay, so volume through end of May is, drum roll please, 132 million. Wow. Like, holy shit, right? Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob. Okay, $832,811,210.
And that's through, is that through, that's through.
That's through end of
numbers.
May. So do we want to hear it clap, clap? Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah, totally amazing. Obviously, on track to completely explode through 1.29 billion for sure, and on track for 2 billion.
Yeah.
Really amazing numbers, and that would, Stephanie, put you where in terms of the region?
Number one,
Number one by a little, number one by
almost double.
Currently number one by a lot.
Yeah, we're almost double, so it's very cool. Ford Living, with the two Ford Living offices are number one and number two in the region out of 18,
Is it this Beverly Hills?
16.
No,
No,
in
they're
this,
on our
in this
region.
region.
Oh, in this region. Who's-
Yeah.
who's the other
Studio
office?
City.
Oh,
Studio
City.
Or
City.
maybe if
Yeah,
it's
so
represented-
they're at
City.
400, so we're almost 400 million.
And
over
Studio
number
City's a
two.
very strong office too, so to be
Very.
almost double their volume is really saying something. And a
Yeah.
testament to the agents that we have.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, regardless of what you're hearing in the news, so on and so forth, I mean, I know that, I don't want to feed into it, but there is a certain reality to the statistics that are out there, right? Regarding, less transactions, less listings, so on and so forth. But another significant thing that happened last month is, as well, in addition to our volume, we had the highest company dollar last month in the history of this office.
Oh, wow.
This morning, so we had a company dollar of 189,000. And I'm like, let me just look through the last 12 years.
Right.
And I'm like, hot damn. So, and that's all to you, right? To each and every one of you agents, and the Keller Williams Calabasas family is making that happen, right? Against all odds, doing everything. You guys are kicking ass. And the cool thing too is when we have new agents come in as well, they're going after it, right? So they get the belief from each and every one of you, right? So the new agents come, they're like, oh, you guys are doing it, I can do it too, right? Let me emulate that, so on and so forth. So everyone is out there is just kicking booty.
And I will say that to realtors, all of these national statistics that people hear, as interest rates go up, does it cool down the market? As the number of transactions done go down, how does that affect realtors, right? And the answer is, as the number of transactions go down, it affects the average realtor proportionately, right? And there's nothing that will affect your personal business more than the activities that you do, period, full stop. So, and the proof is very simple, right? The proof is this: in the best market we've ever had, do you know any realtors that do no business? Of course. Well, how's that possible, right? Okay. And I promise you, in the worst real estate market ever, which I ran our brokerages, led our brokerages right during that period of time, there were agents doing lots of deals in the toughest of markets. So the point is that you control your business more. It's not to say that these outside factors don't affect your business. They do affect your business, but you have more control over your business than any outside factor. So a great analogy or metaphor is like the interest rates are like a national weather forecast, right? So it's like, oh, well, we're the planet's heating up, we're, going to be a half a degree higher all the way around. But what's it like right here, right now? And that's knowing your market, but also the individual work inside of your business. So there's always going to be real estate transacted in every single market. and getting the tools that we have and focusing more on purposeful lead generation, that sort of thing is going to change more about your business. And it is in those times where leadership and environment makes the most difference, right? So when it's booming out there, right, that's where you see, you know, go to any place or surround yourself with whatever people and you still do business. And when things get tighter and tougher is when the tools actually make the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And we're here to help you do that for sure.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
I was just gonna make a comment. It's kind of like, we already know this, but I want everyone to really personalize this. So you see those numbers on there, and yeah, those are numbers, and that's their office, and that's everything. But like, when you first put up there, I went, wow, I'm part of that 1.29. Like, it makes me have tears about, like, wow, I really am. And I'm part of that 832. I have another deal closing tomorrow, that'll be for the next one. You know, I'm saying, you know, like I want everyone to personalize those numbers, because, you know, our office is insanely great, you know, doing all this great stuff. But you have to look at everybody here, whether it's a rental, I don't care what it is, you are part
That's right.
of that. And you're part of those numbers that are coming. So it's like super impactful when my face is hot, I'm so like, oh, about it, but it's
Right.
really, it's very personal.
That's awesome. Yeah, because we all lock arms, even though we're each individual businesses, right? You have the different successes of your individual businesses, but we're one business together collectively, right? We lock arms and kick ass in real estate, right? And in life, because it's not, that's why we always have the morning mindset, you know, forward mindset at 8 o'clock every single morning. So we have the right thinking to be able to go conquer the day and do those kind of numbers together. Because no one can do it alone, it's all collective, each and every one of us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no one succeeds
I
alone.
love it. And you see massive numbers and yes, you know, we have top agents that do huge deals, and how does that affect an individual agent? I'm always thinking about like what's in it for me from your perspective, right? But then when you look at the highest company dollar that we've had in the history of this office, and I can tell you that number for sure tells me that those deals are spread through a greater population. We'd love to get everyone to cap and help them far beyond that, because it just helps everybody. You know, that's why the system works.
Super exciting. So congratulations. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, got birthdays. Yay. So June is it finishing June? No, it's totally, wait, what is June?
June 14th.
Well, yeah, so as far as your sign, are you still a Gemini?
Oh.
Gemini and Cancer. You guys are, where is she taking this? Right now. So thank you for following along. So happy birthday to everybody. Oh, did you get cake?
We will have a cake today.
All right, so if it's your birthday, go have your own cake.
Cinnamon rolls.
Oh my goodness, so happy birthday to everybody. And woo, residential and commercial, all the people that contributed, right, to the amazing May numbers. As you can see, a ton, right, a ton, residential and commercial. So thank you all, congratulations. Oh, yeah. And then we have, but anyway, Joe Pennish, capped, right? So he capped in the first month, so he'll have 11 months of 100%. So that's super exciting. And the cool thing is, and I have to bring this up too, keep in mind the amazing power of the agents and the network we have here. Okay, really get to know one another, have conversations, because that's where incredible deals are made. So Joe happened to be in the office the same time as Alex Duluth. They started having a conversation. Oh, by George, well, I have the buyer, I have the seller, da, da, da. Boom, they put together, what, a $23 million transaction.
Yeah. That's awesome.
In the house. So congratulations, Joe. I really appreciate all your hard work and dedication and enjoy that 100%.
And we take note of that. So one of the things that we're doing is making sure that the forward living commercial teams are coordinated so that everyone knows which product types other people do. And also gives a great resource, gives a great resource to, I'm off camera, can't see. Gives a great resource to, there we go. Also gives a great resource to residential realtors as well. To have the kind of in-house expertise so that it's very often that people will get that will have a client that then has a commercial piece of real estate. And rather than a residential realtor trying to figure out how do I do a lease deal or a multifamily deal, to have that professional team ready to go is something we're making sure. Calabasas has a phenomenal commercial team for sure. And it was born out of this office that some of our great commercial realtors here were like, hey, we want to know who does what, who are the top people in all of forward living that we can cross refer to. And again, I'm surprised, I shouldn't be, but I'm surprised that they're surprised, right? Like, oh wow, we didn't realize that team, we had a $225 million team, commercial team from Compass move over to another one of our forward living offices. Oh wow, we know those guys. We didn't know they came over. So now the ability to cross refer deals with them is wonderful. So we're paying attention and just making sure that we're doing more with great stuff that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we've had some great meetings with the commercial agents, and really, just so you guys know too, in forward living itself, out of the 11-ish offices, there's 150 commercial agents. So we're basically one of the largest commercial divisions in Southern California, if not the largest. And we're attracting a lot of attention too, which is pretty exciting. Getting calls from Marcus and Millichap, commercial agents, that's kind of fun.
Sure.
Anyway, so we'll talk about that. All right, very good. Hey, Nikki.
Nikki.
Woo, look at that. Guys, do you guys all know Nikki Freeman? It's all good, so congratulations. Her and her husband, Rob, worked their tushies off for sure. And just a pleasure to be in business with you, and so proud of you and excited for all your success. Thank you. So enjoy the 100%. Oh, and Jeff Lando. Jeff Lando, are you in on Zoom land? Congratulations. He is a dedicated individual. Just always working. He's coached the whole bit, and just has full commitment to his business, just like everyone else. And congratulations, Jeff, on getting to your 100%. Woohoo! More Steve Sachs. When did he come over? March? I think March, right? Bam, cat.
Did not take long.
Did not take long. So congratulations, Steve. I'll see you later tonight. Enjoy your 100% for the next year. Oh, and then Denise March. We have a lot of cappers. Woo-hoo. That's exciting. So Denise March. Beautiful, and appreciate you. So thank you, and congratulations. Enjoy your 100%. Okay, are they here? New agents. Since the last time we got Deborah, here and Steven. So welcome. Congratulations and welcome to the family. Okay, we're almost to you, Rich. Okay, Clearmark, come on up. So we actually have John here, and Laura Lynn and Haley. Hi, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you? Nice to see you too. Hello. Hello.
So go ahead, give your introductions and tell us a little bit about you and blah, blah, blah.
Hi, everyone. I think I've met a few of you before at different offices
Yeah.
and then also at
Oh.
home. So it's nice to see you again, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow as well. My name is Laura Lynn Ingresso. I am director of KPI at Clearmark Title Company. I'm also on the Forward Living Title team, and I'm also our company's official social farming trainer. So you guys will hear some of that presentation. We're going to bring it to the office just for you guys. So I'm super excited to get to know each of you. Me and Haley will be here every single week, and we're so excited to just work very closely with you.
So hi everyone, my name is Haley Macias and I'm Clearmark Title's customer service specialist and one of the team leads for the Forward Living offices. And I'm really excited to get to meet each of you and learn how we can support each of your unique businesses. Awesome. Thank you for having us today.
That these guys do a phenomenal job. Certainly the social media farming, social farming is a great, phenomenal tool. Also, Title Toolbox is a great tool that our agents should definitely know how to use. And you don't have to use Clearmark in order to get access to that stuff, but it's a wonderful resource for the office. It goes right into what I was talking about before about the things that you do right now affect your business more than interest rates and all the outside pieces. There's no question. Also, with respect to title, these guys do, Clearmark Title does at a baseline what the competitors do, and that is deliver a underwritten title policy for actually, depending on which underwriter, 5% less to the consumer. So all things being equal, the consumer gets a slightly less expensive title policy that is the same as the other major companies. And something that's different here is that we have a very flat leadership, so that when things go well, we do just as good as everybody else. And when something goes really sideways in a deal, we can do things that other people can't, because a title rep is not going to have the sort of access that a title rep has to John Macias, our CEO of Clearmark Title. Thanks for coming. You're not going to see CEO of another title company. And also, with Forward Living being part of the ownership group, you won't see the owner of a title company at your office for sure. So there are things, and John and I have definitely had these conversations where a deal will not close and another title company could not get that deal to close. And the reason why is because there's too much cost around that title policy in order to make it even remotely close to worthwhile. So it's a numbers crunch. They go, well, the title policy is $3,000. Geez, it's going to cost us $8,000 to insure around this, that, and the other thing. And your title rep can call me or can call John, and we go, well, it makes business sense for us because it's part of the family. We want this deal closed, and we want to make sure that the agents know that when times are tough, we can do things that are extraordinary. And I won't bore you with details because I've been there, done that with crazy deals, that needed to close over the long weekend or whatever. And that's in the rare instance. But again, the only thing we can expect for sure is the unexpected, right? So it's good to have that. It's good to have these guys and John on your team as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. Hey, John, come on over. Speaking of John.
John Macias, Clearmark Title Company. Happy summer to everybody here.
That's right.
It's wonderful to be out here in this beautiful area. So it's exciting to be here and see a lot of the exciting and great things that you guys are doing and great numbers. I mean, applaud each of you doing that. A lot of work. Year, we have another 6 months to go and push hard. Getting into that third and fourth quarter is extremely important for all of us. And one of the, I would share that really kind of, you guys have this early morning mindset. Is that what it is? Mindset. And I think that is not only important for each of us, but also important for you to be having those discussions with each of your clients. Understanding, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? And all of those things are super important that you are having and having a knowledge base to be able to talk to your clients, let them know what's important, and then why they should have confidence in selling or buying. And I think, having that knowledge base around, dealing with our team, giving you the data and the information is going to be super important. So we're glad to be your partner, glad to be here for you, and know that we are going to outcompete and earn your business day in and day out. So appreciate each of you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. There we are. A broker moment. Welcome. What you got for us?
Well, good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you in Zoom land. I have a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to bring to your attention, CAR sent out a notice or an alert, shall we say. We're all happy that open houses are back, but it was a reminder, a very shocking reminder that we have to be safe when we do open houses, because an agent was attacked at an open house in Moreno Valley. And just be aware of your surroundings. Always meet new clients in the office or a neutral location. Share your schedule with somebody. They always know where you're at. Communicate, concerns about your listing. If you have a listing and there's a poor phone signal, you have to be aware of stuff like that. Don't overshare stuff about your personal life. Never go into attics or crawl spaces. Check your battery, make sure it's fully charged. And always, the client walks in front of you. Don't lead somebody into a room. And if possible, don't do an open house alone. So we all have to be aware of these safety. And so not only women, men have been into this predicament also. So just be safe. Just be safe and aware of your surroundings. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is SRAR is sponsoring a diversity, equity, and inclusion virtual forum at the end of the month, June 28th. You should be seeing the flyer for it on your screen. It's hosted by the new CEO of CAR, John Seabury. He's a great guy. I met him up in Sacramento when I was up there for CAR meetings. Register for this great forum at srar.com/DEA, which stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Please sign up and attend that forum. And the last thing I wanted to let you know is next week, next Wednesday, 4:00, I'm going over new forms that come out on Tuesday. So there are new forms coming out on Tuesday. There's revisions in forms. A lot of forms. There's like 40 revisions, but a lot of them are just little housekeeping stuff. But I will go over those next Wednesday at 4. So join me for that class. That's it.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
All right, and then to Rich's point, let me see, go back to share, blah, blah. Okay, to Rich's point too, sometimes you just get that feeling when you're around someone, not that like, ooh, hubba, but the feeling like, yeah, something's not right? So pay attention to that. If you're just like, okay, because I know Eileen Rodriguez, there was a time when she was doing an open house or whatever, and she felt so she had this weird, so she stepped outside and then the people were being a little suspect or whatever. So she just said, she just let them go into the house by themselves and she stayed outside. She did something, yeah, just didn't feel right.
You guys all know I talk about this all the time because that's what happened to me. So someone came in an open house and locked the door behind him and I watched him do it and I ran out and left and, you know, this was before cell phones. I went to a payphone, I was crying and called Mike Cosgrove's mother. But anyway, so my thing is, and I've given speeches about it to everybody with the police department, never, ever. He said, but try not to, but it's never, ever do an open house by yourself, especially women. And so, and I have, you know, I'm very specific when I talk to any brokers or any agents in here about doing an open house with me, that I do, or, you know, have a lender, somebody else do it with you. It's not a thing about worrying about sharing your commission with someone. It's about your safety and double the deals. You really have double. And I have a SRAR sells a pepper spray. I have it in my hand with my cell phone and my keys. And I lock my purse away, but I have that with me and I'm ready to jump on you if you do something or whatever, or run out. And, you know, there's been a couple times where I was a little bit nervous when someone was showing up late that was supposed to be doing an open house with me and watching, you know, seriously 5 big, huge men coming into an open house. I was like, what the hell? You know, so I'm just saying that, please, please, please. That's my soap opera there. I mean, my soapbox. So, right. Anyway, and I will always do an open house. If you want somebody to do it with you, I'm happy. And I know everybody else is here too.
All right, awesome, thank you. I'm glad you're safe, glad everyone's safe. So just always be aware. What my daddy always told me, be aware, Stephanie. Okay, bold. Woohoo! Clap, clap. Oh, clap, clap. Okay, so steps 2 through 7 begin tomorrow. So super excited. It's bold is life changing, really. And this is the first time that we've had it live in person, not Zoom, anything in, you know, for what, almost 3 years. So who is all registered for, all right, oh, so officially. Awesome. So it looks like we don't have everybody registered.
But one important piece is that this is step 2 through 7, but step 1 was really the introduction.
Yeah.
So if you missed step 1, you haven't missed anything. It's really the 6 weeks 2 through 7 that give you 100% of the content.
Yeah.
I'm shifting my schedule around. I'm going to try and get to bold as much as I can because, you know, it really is, it's such a difference maker.
Yeah, no, and thank you for bringing that up, because so step 1 was the introduction, and then this is, you know, where the rubber hits the road, high level accountability, right? High level of accountability, and right now, like Emilio and I went through a mid-year review yesterday, right? And it's really, I mean, if you guys are serious about your business and want to, because the shift is happening. And has already started a few months ago, right? So it's important to be disciplined with your, you know, with your contacts that you're making on a daily basis, so on and so forth, so you get your share of the business, right? And sometimes we need that extra boost, that extra accountability, so on and so forth, to get us to that next level, or to just get us in a habit to get through what's going on right now, right? So we, and remember, yes, is there an out-of-pocket expense for it? Yeah, you're investing in your business. It's only $7.99, but you know what the cool thing is that you get that back in your first 2 transactions.
And it's like Paul was saying, the 0 to 1 deal is pretty hard. The 1 to 10, there's a different muscle. 10 to 20 felt like the 1 deal. And I was writing down notes about how when we did 20+ deals last year, it felt like we were back at our very first 4 deals to close 1 deal, but it just felt like we were just doing everything just almost on repeat with some changes. And now going from 27 deals to 60 deals, we're like, okay, there's a different muscle there. Yeah, we're doing things differently from last year, and I feel bold is going to be a catalyst for that. And I can picture, okay, when we first did Bold, and we did 3 deals or 0 deals to 1 deal, it was like, oh my God, we went from 1 deal to 6 deals. And then next year we did Bold, we broke 10 deals. And then next time we did Bold, we started averaging 15 to 20. And then you start seeing that gain, and then you start evolving, but there's just different elements there.
And you don't have to, there's a saying which is very, it can be very annoying because it requires us always to change, but what got you here is not what will get you there. And that's true of people, no matter how huge their business is. So it doesn't matter if you have a $60,000 GCI business or you have a $600,000 GCI business. You're where you are because of because of who you're being and the things that you're doing. And so if you want to go from 60 to 120, some things have to change.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're at 600 and you want to go to $1.2 million, or you want to go to 800, or a really big, I mean, if you want to increase your business 10%, here's the formula. Do exactly what you're doing and work 10% harder. That's not a lot of fun when you want to, when you want to double your business, because people are already working hard. Okay, so here's a simple formula: double your business, just do exactly what you're doing, work twice as many hours. You don't have to do that. So Bold does 2 things, and one is show you a way to do things differently, so that what got you here is not what will get you there. It will show you what will get you there. And then, I talked about like the little accountability edition of like putting little sticks in your book. Accountability, certainly for us, to speak for myself, the group accountability is the ultimate for me, because I can always make an excuse for myself. Again, I don't want to put this on you. Some of you are probably fabulous at self-motivating or whatever, but I can always make an excuse for myself. And when the team is counting on me, I don't find any excuses, that are so easy to come by when I'm doing it on my own. So group accountability, especially for me, is a major accelerant. So those are the 2 things you'll get in Bold. And now there's no better time for it. And I'll tell you, the office doesn't make, Forward Living doesn't make any extra dough from the more signups, and the office doesn't make any more money from the extra signups. And if I could have it the way I would want it, would be every single person would be at Bold, because it would, those numbers would be a 5x for sure, for absolutely sure.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up too. I know Christine and I had a discussion a couple of weeks ago, because you're paying the $800 or $799 sounds better, right? $799 for
That's crazy.
for Bold, and she's like, well, how much of that does the office get?
I was shocked.
I'm like, WTF? What are you saying? What are you asking me, right? And I'm like, no, it's for the material, it's for the commitment, it's for the coaching, right?
And also a big piece of the $799, and that is fine, the $799. It's like, but like, just say, I'm always like, just say 800, but we are salespeople, so like that stuff works on us too, right? Okay, so a large part of that money goes to the instructor, and then when they get a huge giant class, the instructors can make a lot of dough, and I got to tell you, we're able to get David Jones, who books out. If you want David Jones for Bold, you've got to book out over a year in advance. But that's how we have him, by booking it, and he'll keep coming back here because we keep filling the seats. And those instructors deserve the whatever they get. But I think half of the money. I don't know what their economics are anymore. But I think half the money, a large portion of the money, goes to the instructor, which is well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about it, like if you're going to Tony Robbins, or if you're going to go see all these different motivational speakers, this is an event. And to be able to go in and double, triple your business, and get that momentum going for a mere $799, that's a write-off, that you get to write that off and we pay you back. Right? So it's a win-win all the way around. So, this is for you guys. And like we're saying, the office doesn't make money off of this. There's 3 sister offices that are sharing, and it'll probably, just to be completely transparent, may cost us probably about $7,000 a piece to put this on for you guys.
Per event, right?
Per
day.
Per office. So it'll probably cost us out of pocket about $21,000 to put this event on for you. So we provide these things for you, for our love for you and our desire for you to be wealthy and have a successful business. So I just want to.
Yeah, I mean, it creates a path and there's no, you know, there's no doubt about the fact that realtors have to do their own push-ups, right? But you know, they're not gonna do, David Jones is not gonna do the work for you, Stephanie's not gonna do the work for you, but to provide the tools that, you know, really are to the point of, if you just do what they say, you'll make more money. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
From what I.
And being live, we haven't had, I mean, we kind of did the half virtual, half live in the office, but it's totally different to be there with him and being in that room. Making the calls. I wouldn't, if you would ask me, well, are you gonna be in a room making calls in front of all these people, I'd be like, no way. And we did it and it was like, it was awesome.
Yeah, so if you guys can swing it, let me know. If someone really has an immense desire to go and is struggling a little bit, come see me after the team meeting, okay? Okay. And speaking of, I wanted to, what did I say? Oh, have a moment with me. All right, we have just a couple minutes. So I'm gonna say this, huh? Yeah, and you and then Cindy, right? So does everyone have my cell phone number? Right? So I know that you guys know that we've been a little busy, right? So my goal is to always respond, so on and so forth. Sometimes, like today, I'm in back-to-back meetings from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Right? So I may not respond right away. But if you can, so texting me is my preference. And if for some reason, if I don't get back to you right away, poke me again. Because one of the things I hear from a lot of people, oh, she's too busy, I'm not gonna bother. Don't do that, right? Just keep bugging me and I'm like, oh shit, because sometimes, Paul, we all deal with a lot of text messages, right? And sometimes you'll have a text message and then it all of a sudden goes down to the bottom and then you're up here and then you're like, oh shit, blah, 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 right? So just make sure that you do that. And if you send me an email that doesn't get responded to in maybe a day or two, right? Or whatever, text me, hey, Stephanie, I just sent you an email, I need you to look at it. Right, that's how a lot of people do that with me. They say, hey, I've just sent you a text with the RPA and can you review this for me, whatever. Right, so it's all about communications and setting expectations because you know that we're here for you. And then if I'm not responding in the timely fashion, guess what? We have Rich Pisani, right? We have Philip Crispino, right? We got Paul, right? So we utilize that, right? So that's why we have an incredible leadership team. You know, we have Andrew, we have Tammy, we have Alejandra, and then we have, where's Louisa? Oh, there she is right there. We have Louisa. So just utilize that and don't give up. Don't be like a one and done, just say, hey, boom, right? And then also, if you want to have a meeting with me, say, hey, Stephanie, I need 15 minutes. Where can we put it in? And give me a date. Like, hey, can I see you Thursday or Friday at 1 or 2? Right? Because sometimes, as you guys know, if you're waiting for me to give you back a date, well, sometimes it takes a while. Right, so give me options, but I just want to set the expectations and keep that communication because you know that, you know, I love you guys and here for you and doing everything that we can in our power to help you create that success. And we're down for 10:30 on Friday, right? So, any questions on that? Do you have anything in chat?
Thanks for your leadership.
You rock.
That doesn't happen very often. Okay, so I did have other things, but one thing I want you guys to go through, and if you guys want to schedule an appointment with me for a 6-month review, like I just did with Emilio yesterday, please let me know, right? So say, hey, I want 30 minutes with you, and I'm going to give you the homework to do before coming to see me, right? And that homework is, how many of you guys hear me say, track your numbers, track your numbers, track your numbers?
Yes.
Right? Are you guys, who all is tracking their numbers? Honestly, not half-assed, right? Tracking your numbers, right? You are the CEO of your business. right? You're the CEO of your business, and if you don't know your numbers, dude, right? You guys have the opportunity to be, that was very professional.
I was letting you laugh.
Dude.
I just thought do that in my head. Do that.
But tracking your numbers allows for predictability in your business. It allows you when we get to, because you know what, we're halfway through this year. As soon as October hits, we're going to start working on your business plan for 2023. And you'll come to me and say, hey, Stephanie, I want to do a business plan for 2023. I'm like, well, what are your numbers? Well, I don't know. Well, okay. So then we have to start from scratch, right? So whether your numbers are good or not good or different, there's no judgment. Just track. Yeah, the numbers are what they are, but it allows us to say, okay, after 200 contacts, you write a contract, or you get something in escrow, after so many conversations, I take a listing, or I have a buyer set. It just allows us, then we can, as you'll learn in bold, then you get to know what your hourly rate is, right? Like, okay, I'm making $500 an hour, I'm making $5,000 an hour for my prospecting. It's all predictability. There's no business out there that can run without not knowing the numbers.
I don't have the opportunity to meet with as many agents as our team leaders do. When I meet with agents, I love that you said you give them homework to come in and say, what are your numbers, so we can go through it. One of the things that I've been doing in my agent meetings is also giving them homework. And I've been asking people, depending on how many deals they do, to go back at least 2 years and go through every single deal that they've done and say, where did it come from? Right? And even realtors that are so on top of their business, I haven't had one yet. I haven't done it 100 times, but I've done it 6 or 7 or 8 times recently. And I haven't had a realtor that went through their own business over the last 24 months, depending on how many deals they do, sometimes 36 months, 18 months, get a really good sampling. And they go through and they say, they mark next to each one where that business came from, that it didn't create some sort of an epiphany. They're like, wow, I didn't realize that, this much, so much. The last time I did it was just a couple of days ago, and so much of it was coming from prospecting, and they have a lot of deals, okay? And not as much of it was coming from the sphere. I'm like, okay, great, so that's that simple to do, right?
Yeah.
And then you take their sphere and you break their sphere down, and it turns out it's like the 80-20 rule, right? It's like, 80% of their referrals are coming from 20% of their sphere. You go, okay, well, number one, what are you doing for the 20? What are you doing for the 20% of your sphere that are referring 80% of your business? And what do you think the answer is, right? And it's not, there's no blame or shame, it's just awareness, right? If I were in their shoes, I'd be doing the same thing. I probably wouldn't be doing anything, right? And so the top 20% of their spheres generating 80% of the referrals, a thank you and something that acknowledges that. It sometimes doesn't matter what it is, just the activity of it, right? Where we're watching the basketball finals, right? And so anytime anybody makes a phenomenal assist, right? The guy that makes the shot or the dunk always goes back and points to the person that made the assist. And you've heard the like, well, what if that person's not looking, right? When you give them, they are always looking, right? And so sometimes it doesn't matter what the acknowledgement is, just making that acknowledgement reinforces that behavior. And then you look through the 80% and you're like, wow, I'm surprised. I only got, one deal from this person that's sort of a raving fan of mine. And then it's just top of mind awareness. What are we going to do to mine that other 80% and really get that? And that's like, it really seems like business 101, and you'd be surprised the last 7 or 8 times I've done it with really, really great agents that walk out and like, oh, mind's blown. But it's because we're so busy, we're working in our business and not on our business. And so it gives us that opportunity. So my invitation to everyone is to go back through your business 24 months and look at exactly where the business came from. And that will lead to a tremendous amount of business that doesn't take a tremendous amount more effort. You don't need more hours in the day to focus on those people that are already giving you some great leads, or people that you have a phenomenal I look through my own database, and have phenomenal, best friends that are entertainment lawyers. I'm like, where are all my entertainment referrals? I'm not gonna do the deal myself, but I sure would like to refer them out to our agents. I'm like, where are my entertainment referrals, right? Two of my best friends are entertainment lawyers, like that do a lot of business in LA. And there's only one reason for that. And that's because I'm not reaching out to them and saying like, hey, by the way, remember, right? Another one is family lawyer. If you have the good fortune of having a family lawyer as a friend, that's wonderful. If you have the unfortunate situation where you've had to use a great family lawyer, it's the same thing. My family lawyer she believes in me enough to send her son to me for career advice. And I know with the clientele that she has, that there are $10, $20 million homes that are getting transacted. And where are they going? So she's sending me her son to give advice to. And I haven't seen the 5, 10, 20, I haven't seen any, right? So that's, I'm not telling people to do things that I don't need to do myself, right? It's just this awareness. So look into your network and see the people who already know, like, and trust you, right? And that's a lot warmer than prospecting. And that's not to say that prospecting doesn't generate a lot of business. This is the way to generate more business more efficiently.
Oh, I love that for sure, because you treat your raving fans differently than the rest of your sphere, et cetera. But it is imperative to know where the business is coming from. I mean, that's one of the homework items. Is like, okay, these buyers, where did it come from? And then because we always talk about, I know we're running out of time, so we always talk about having 4 to 6 different revenue streams coming in. And sometimes you may be like, oh, I only have one, right? I'm really just focusing one here. Maybe, we expand a little bit, but that's what the session is for.
And you can do a phenomenal business with one revenue source, right? I have a realtor that I worked with for many, many years. She's one of our first top realtors. I won't go into where because you'll figure out who it is, but did a tremendous amount of business from only three sources. It's now 15 years later. One retired, one died. Where's the business coming from now, right? So you can do a great business from a small number of resources, but it's very important to diversify and to keep those resources warm, but also look out for new resources. And people have done this before. So I'm going to go to those entertainment lawyer best friends and wring their necks.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Oh, those are. All right.
Hey, Stephanie, it's Emilio.
Hey, Emilio.
How's everybody doing? Hey, just wanted to share something since we just went through the review ourselves. I dropped on the chat mykw.kw.com to look at your GCI numbers, look at your numbers on what Paul's talking about.
Yep.
And to his point in yesterday's discovery, you told me why wait to do what you're thinking about doing. Just get it, get on it, right? So took your advice, and we have a pending meeting with Alan. So I appreciate the insight.
You're welcome. Good job. All right, Emilio. Yeah, because we were talking about adding this other thing into this thing. He goes, well, I'm going to do it, da, da, da. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, and thanks for taking action, because what action is the only truth. Thank you.
Action is the only what?
Truth.
Truth. Okay. Learning something new every day.
Yeah. Okay, so as you see, we have bowl tomorrow, Thursday. Oh shit, do I have that blocked off or not? Anyway, brown bag it, different things. We have Ignite on, and then we have flow coaching. We still do it.
Thursday,
Yeah,
Monday
yeah,
and
well,
Thursday.
yeah.
We're gonna do it no matter what. Monday,
Yeah.
Thursday, 10 to 11 a.m. And one of the things that we're working on, and
then plus teaching.
in part, it's my fault that. Oh, sorry. That's okay.
I was trying to.
I do this too. I do that too. In part, it's my fault because when we first started with flow coaching, Josh was doing flow coaching with me. It's like, well, we got to get this right, and we got to get that right, and we got to get the other thing right. And I'm like, which is very opposite for us, by the way, because I'm usually trying to get it right, he's usually trying to get it done. But he's like, oh, let's get all these things right. I'm like, no, we're not gonna get it right. We're gonna do it. And then as we do it, we're gonna improve. And now, because I'm the higher C of the two of us for sure, I am very annoyed with the production quality of flow coaching. So when it's taught live, it's really great. But then when you're on Zoom, which I do sometimes, because I'll Zoom from another office, or I'm not in Beverly Hills, I'll Zoom and I'm like, I can't hear the audience, I can't see the whatever, So we're really committed to make it really like television show quality, so that all of the offices can participate. But the thing itself is ongoing. The fee is my usual fee, which is $0. But it is for the and just getting the philosopher's notes, which is a synopsis of the best business books out there, for the first 15 minutes and a little discussion about it, and then we do numbers, and we're constantly improving. So we have everybody from brand new agents to our absolute #1 agent regularly participating, and Philip is always there.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw out there, I mean, when we invest in mass coaching or even outside coaching, which we have with my wife and our team, it's like, it runs like $2,000 a month, and we're talking 30 minutes a week, right? We get Paul, he won't flaunt it, but he's a multi-millionaire. We have Josh, who's on his way to being a multi-millionaire, if not already one, and running a successful office. We have Stephanie, we've got different team leaders, we have agents across the spectrum. And it blows my mind that there's so few of us from this market center there. I see Nicole, I see Jessica, myself, a handful of people there. Joss is there from time to time. But it's not every day that we get these types of influences. Like, I don't have a millionaire in my immediate circle of family and friends saying, hey, Philip, let me take you out to lunch. Let's mastermind, let's talk about these topics. We have to actually go to where those resources are at and draw from the well. Otherwise, we're just in the desert. Right now, Bold is awesome, and it'll be here for the next 7 weeks, 6 weeks. But then when you look at like all these other opportunities, one of the 6 personal perspectives is be learning based in order to take your action, in order to lead generate. Well, we're lead generating with the same, hey, can I help you sell, invest, buy real estate? We're not bringing any value to that person, let alone ourselves. When we're exposed to the philosopher notes, the breakdown, and you realize, oh wow, all these men and women are no different than me. We experience the same challenges in Beverly Hills as they do in Canoga Park, or wherever your market center is, Calabasas, right? Oh wow, I thought my problems were heavy at 2 million. They're suffering the same problems at 5 million to 20 million. Oh, awesome. Okay, I can apply that to my life, and it just brings up that bridge that much more closer. And as you make those calls and put in the hours and the time in those time blocks, it just makes more and more sense all across the board. So I can't say enough about flow. It's like having Paul as a coach, even though we're not like one-on-one, I'm still taking and filling my notebooks up. It was taking stuff that optimized my day, my week, my year, my month. So hopefully that helps you guys.
We don't do it from a soapbox for sure, because I'm learning all the time. I'm learning from the comments. Excuse me. I'm learning from the comments that people give. It's giving me new perspective, different ways of thinking. None of us, right, know as much as all of us, or whatever, all of us are better than one of us, or however Josh says it. And the funny thing too is I in doing flow coaching with him for a few months, and I know that he's been doing the philosopher's notes in what he called power session, twice a week. And I look at John, I'm like, oh, no wonder he's so smart. Like if I listen to this, if I listen to the philosopher's notes twice a week for 8 years, can you imagine the growth that it will have? And in wealth building, one of my quotes is that your net worth will never exceed your self-worth. So how do you work on that? And the answer is by absorbing and learning. Like these people, every single philosopher's notes come from a book that somebody has spent years researching, and now we've got 5 bullet points from it. So there's no way that you can not do it. And one of the reasons, honestly, Philip, that I attribute that we're not packed, for every office. One of the things that I think about is just that the production value is not as high as it needs to be from the outside. So that's the responsibility that I take for it. And as you know, Valerie will attest, I'm always like, you can't see, you can't hear, what are we, it's not Valerie's fault for sure. I'm saying it out loud so I can hear it. That really, to just take it to the next level. And we have about 100 people on as sort of an average or high average, probably maybe 80, between 80 and 100 every single time. And I'd like to get it to 200 or 300 just because, right? It's going to help all of us. So thanks for that. And
Thanks, Dylan. Thank you for your time and your commitment to doing that. Okay, I promised you could do a little 30-second. So did you guys see the video that I did for KW Calabasas? Hey, welcome to KW. Where I'm like walking around, So he did it. Yay! So introduce yourself. You're awesome. Other than your own brother.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick Galia. I am the owner of Production District. I've been in the industry around 3-4 years. I'm pretty young, 19 years old.
Whoa.
So I've been in it. I've shot nearly $900 million in listings in the last 3 years.
Wow.
And I offer photography, videography. I'm a licensed drone operator, 3D tours, anything that you guys need for getting your listing up and running. If you want to post it on Instagram, if you want to scale your business, if you want a video like Stephanie, how she's walking through, all that stuff I can do. I don't want to take too much of your time. So.
All right, cards. Do you have cards?
So all my
Oh yeah,
cards
there's
there.
cards up there too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Can
much.
we get a question?
You
for
have
you?
cards? Pass them out.
Can we get a package deal for a bunch of headshots shot at the same time so that you only have one set up and you can
So
roll them out?
headshots is actually the one thing that I don't offer. I don't want to offer anything that I haven't experienced so on. I've
Understood.
experienced listings, but that I don't.
Okay. That's how you know we don't rehearse these meetings.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you for that, and we'll I'll heckle our next photographer.
Thank you so much.
Awesome,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Okay, so, and then to all the fathers, happy Father's Day. Oh my God, we're totally going over. Don't hate me. Okay, so we have still Ignite. Cindy, do you want to, we're dipping into your time.
Can I 1 second before we go?
Yes. Yes. No, go Cindy. Cindy.
Okay, first I really want to talk about the market because it's a pretty exciting time right now. So, just some highlights here. So the last couple of days, we went over the 3% mark on the 10-year bond market, which is not a good thing when it comes to rates, right? So from Friday to Monday, rates went from 2.9 to 3.6, or I'm sorry, 10-year bond, 2.9 to 3.6, which adds at least 2 points onto the rate. So folks, we're in the sixes, yay, we're here, okay? So here's my thought on what's happening in rates and market and stuff. So what? So what? It's like, if you like roller coasters, they do this. And then they either or they can do any number of things. Rates aren't going to stay here where they are. If you are from a long-term perspective, if you're looking for a house that you're going to be living in, so what? You go in, you buy the house, you make do. Later on, if you want to upgrade your house, you want to refi your mortgage, you do that. It's life in the big city, and let's quit crying about rates.
Yeah, get over it.
I'm gonna say that.
I could never understand about the big issue of rates. My first home, I bought it, it was over 6%.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what?
Many people have lived through
Double
this.
digits.
With double-digit rates.
Double digits.
Yeah,
For sure.
So the active listings are staying on the market, starting to stay on the market a little bit longer. New loan maps have started to drop. They're at a 22-year low. Homes are selling over asking. That is slowing down to some extent. But keep in mind that the average recession since World War II has been 10 months long. We are in month 6. So you know what? The clouds will pass and life will go on and the recession will pass and inflation will come down. So stay positive, stay solutions oriented, keep an eye on nervous sellers, because I think that's going to be an opportunity for buyers. If they have somebody who's getting really nervous about this market, and they're selling now, or if you're showing a buyer a house that's empty, then, you know, that's your opportunity to say, hey, we're not going to go for way over asking. We're going to go for a little less now. And you might very well find some opportunities there. As well as from my perspective as the lender, I'm hearing more and more people come to me, say, using the words, I'm looking for creative finance. So, my answer to that is you've come to the right place. So we also, just so you know, even though rates are in the 6s, we just priced out a deal at the Fannie Mae Max, the 970,000 recently. No, it was an 800,000 loan, $1 million purchase. And one of our investors has a 5.45 rate. So, you know, we've got everything for the gold client and the, you know, I don't have any documents to show anything clients in mind. And then quick plug on my class, divorce mortgages. What this is going to be from the perspective of what you guys need to know when you're handling a real estate transaction that has divorce in the story. And then my favorite part is going to be the second half of it is how to avoid them. This is going to be some really great tips, highlights, tricks, whatever, on how to get along and how to approach any partnership, whether it's a marriage or a business or whatever. Some smart things to do to make sure you're setting yourself up for success.
Awesome. All right, see you soon. Thank you. Your quick plug.
For book club, it's Monday, June 28th. I have 3 books available still for free. If you're interested, call me, text me, ask Tammy. And I wanted to just tell you guys a little bit. So this Money Makeover, Dave Ramsey's done a bunch of books. I have done all of his books. I have taken his Financial Peace University. I've been following for 20 years. My kids do it. It is phenomenal about being out of debt. And there is a process to get out of it. And I will stand here and tell you, I have 0 credit card debt. I haven't paid a finance charge in 25 years. And I follow a lot of his principles. So it's a babe. And I like it so much. The other books that he has a branded book out right now that I got on audio for 2022. Talks about Mark Cuban and where he came from, and a lot of stuff called Baby Step Millionaire and how doable it is and truly simple. So anyway, so I'm plugging my thing. If you guys want to go, there's 2 more books.
All right, woohoo, thank you. All right, thank you for your patience. I know this went extremely over. Mark your calendar for July 16th for our family picnic, and we are done.
Hey, I'll tell you where my Cuban came from. He was my camp counselor.
What? And on the side gig, he did dancing lessons, which right now we know because he was on Dance with the Stars, but when he was young, to support himself, he did